Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. So two things. One, it's a really lovely top.
Thank you.
And secondly, thank you so much for doing this last minute. It's never too late to learn anything. I've been interviewing for years and years and years. And you never know what you don't know until you don't know it. And so I figured, why not just get some time in? So thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I did a bit of a presentation. So basically, the way I thought we could do this, I'll go through the presentation with you. It's a very short one. It's less than 10 slides. And then I can kind of do a few commonly asked interview questions, and then you can just answer it. And then I can just just for you to practice a little bit, and then I can just get some feedback. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. I've got my notepad and pen, so if you see me looking down, that's what it is. And I hope that the lighting in my apartment's fine.
Yes, it's good. I can see you clearly. So let me just share my screen at the end.
Okay, fabulous.
Great. So basically, in order to prepare for a job interview, you need to really focus your research on 3 points. One is yourself, your skills, your career, and how those match the needs of the employer. And so you need to do also research on the company, on the competitors, and the industry. So to really be very clear of what the company does. And then really important is to do research about the position. So you really need to know how your skills match what they're looking for. So it's really about fitting in and really trying to sell your skills, the ones that really go that are in accord with what they're looking for. You really need to enhance that.
I understand.
So the best way is to actually prepare short relevant stories. So basically, it's not just saying you're organized. You really need to think about a situation in your career where your organization skills were required. A particular example or a situation where you had to kind of organize things, and particularly if it's like a big challenge and then you came out on top. So you really need to find an example that really puts you in the best light and that showcases the skills that they're after. So it's really important that when you're answering your questions and preparing, that each answer must meet the employer's needs. So it's really not about yourself, it's about them most of all, and how you fit in their requirements and their goals as well.
Okay.
If possible, it's good if you could find out who is interviewing you and check their LinkedIn profile and see if there's any common ground between you two, common interests, or if you worked at the same company, you can bring that in, because that immediately creates the connection between you two. And then a good way is to actually talk to the camera, video yourself, answer most commonly asked questions, or simply talk to the mirror. But the point is to really look at yourself from a impartial point of view, as if
from an outsider's perspective.
Exactly, as if you were the interviewer. And if you were the interviewer, and if you were interviewing for that particular position, what would you be looking for in a candidate? So it's really about matching that. And again, I mentioned that already, but talk about any common ground that you might have, because that really creates an initiative.
That rapport.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if you can show your knowledge about the company or the industry. For instance, I had an interview where I did a lot of research on the on the company's founder and the CEO, and I took insights that I got from some of his interviews, and I put them in the answers. So it really showed that I did my research. So it's really important that you show that you care about the company, that you're aligned with the company's objectives, and that you fit in what they're looking for.
Okay.
And then in terms of style, of course, this is my own particular style. So it would match a job interview in a fashion magazine or at the head office of a luxury brand. But of course, the main point about the style for a job interview is that you match the company's stuff as much as possible. So a good way of checking this, usually on their company's website, you have a team, so you can actually check the pictures of the team, and then you can have a sense if they have a more casual style
or formal.
I mean, I'm talking from my own experience. There was a job interview that was really formal, and they were all in jeans and trainers, so I totally missed the point there.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. So dress the part is about mirroring the team that is already working for the company you want to work for. I think independently of that, avoid wearing heavy perfume, because some people have a very
sensitive,
and you don't want to put anyone off.
Yeah. The whole point is to get them to like me, not to turn them away.
Exactly. And also, if in doubt, it's always good to go for not too much makeup. For instance, when I was working at the Burberry flagship store, it was all about nude tones and very discreet makeup. So you really, for a job interview, is really good to go a bit more elegant and not so flashy, you know, that you can keep for going out clubbing and things like that. And again, maybe wear simple jewelry, or I mean, in this case, I didn't even put any jewelry, but you can wear simple, like a very simple jewelry. Don't wear like chunky kind of jewelry. And then if it's an online interview, as you can see here, your background, I mean, I can see that your mirror and your plan, so it kind of looks nice. But the best thing is to go for a plain wall, because like that, there's no distractions from you. The point is for the interviewer to really focus on what you are saying and how you're coming across, and not get
distracted by. Got you.
So if it's an online interview. And then if it's an in-person interview, of course, it's very important to arrive 15 minutes early, be polite to everyone, and do remember to switch off your mobile phone. The last thing you want to do is for your phone
to have it go off. Yeah. I would be mortified. Touch wood, that's never happened to me yet, but I would be absolutely mortified.
Exactly. And then I think all career experts agree on this. You need to maintain eye contact. So if you're doing the online interview, you can stare at the camera, but that can be distracting for you. I mean, for me, it was on certain occasions. So you do lose a bit of communication if you're just staring at the camera and you don't look at the body language of the interview.
Yeah.
So make sure sometimes you look at the camera, sometimes you look at the interviewer. That's my personal tip. But of course, if you're in a person-to-person interview, then of course you should look into the eye, because that will that immediately creates a rapport. And then you need to speak clearly and confidently, like, I've got this. And this is sometimes where I go wrong. But anyway, if you do a lot of preparation, if you answer those questions over and over again in front of a mirror, you do become more and more relaxed. What you actually happens. So preparation is crucial. And then when answering, don't just jump. And again, this is something that I sometimes do. Take your time to really think your answers through. What you're about to answer, does that match what they're looking for? You always need
Yeah.
yourself in their shoes, you know. And then it's important to sound enthusiastic, because you know, if you don't really want the job, why would they?
Why? Yeah, exactly.
So I think sometimes, on some occasions, you might apply for jobs that are not exactly your dream job, but you see it as a stepping stone, as a job that will probably will create networking opportunities, or is you actually want a different position in that particular company. So in that case, you really have to, you know, put a bit of a performing kind of situation, and see yourself as an actress, and really sound enthusiastic. Even if it's not your dream job, you need to sound like you really want it, because that really, your excitement comes across as well, you know. And then at the end, they will always ask, do you have any questions for me? So make sure you do.
Yeah, that's rule number one. Make sure you come with some questions.
So I put here a few examples, like what opportunities are there to progress in the company, because that shows your ambition.
Yeah.
When do you want someone in place, so that you have a bit of a time frame for your own, you know, to organize your own schedule and your own life. And then you can ask them, what's the best thing about working for this company? And a simple question to ask is, what is the next stage of the recruitment process? Because sometimes they have 2 interviews, sometimes they have 3, sometimes an assignment that you need to complete. So each company has their own recruitment process, and so it's always good to ask when you hear back from them and what's happening next, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, many other questions could be asked, like, what's the team like if I get the position, or what's the direction the company wants to take, what this particular team wants to go for, what's the strategy, what's the company's culture. I mean, you do have quite a few questions that you ask, but make sure you prepare them in advance, so when they ask you, you have a few questions and you sound natural, without, you know, and professional.
Yeah.
That's the main point. And then I end this presentation with a quote from Oprah that I really love. Luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. So if you have an opportunity, make sure you prepare as much as possible.
Yeah, I could not agree with that anymore, honestly.
So are you ready for, if I ask a few questions?
Oh God. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I've been doing, to be fair, I should be ready. I've been interviewing quite a bit, but we'll see how we go.
Okay. So let's start. I mean, one of the very commonly asked questions is actually, tell me about yourself.
Okay. So about myself, my name's Charlene Lopes. My work history, I guess. So currently I'm working as a part-time PA for a high net worth individual since the pandemic hit in Feb 2020. Currently lives in Malta, so we're doing a lot of remote working. It's very in-depth, very detailed. And I've been full on with travel now that the world's opened back up. So that includes vaccines, flights, anything from a plane to helicopter, taxis, ensuring the entire itinerary is completed from end to end, taking care of household tasks, and making sure that his life and his world is run as efficiently as humanly possible. Prior to that, I was working at Selfridges. I was there for just over 2 years. My official title, I guess, on paper would be a finance administrator and executive assistant, but the informal title is finance administrator CapEx projects administrator. So the bulk of my role, and where the two titles differentiate, is that I managed the end-to-end process of capital expenditure within Selfridges. So for example, anyone wanted to spend any money, they would come through me and my department. I would have full charge of the whole process. And this can go from anything from the cinema to a broken window in store. And it's the complete end-to-end process. Very in-depth, very detailed. I would be organizing bi-weekly meetings for Selfridges and Selfridges Group that had 15 people minimum in them. And because of the amount of spend we're talking about, there is no error for mistakes. You've missed one person off the list that needs to be there to hit quorum. That particular project doesn't get signed off. That's another week added. That means more money added onto the budget. There is no room for error at all where it comes to the name, the room name on the invite, the amount of chairs that's there, the number on the finance pack that's going through. It had to be completely perfect. So that's what I've been doing at the moment.
Thank you. So I think you did really well. And just to clarify, because we're going to share this video, you kindly agreed for me to be able to share it. Just to clarify, you're applying for an executive assistant position.
So, yeah. So the role tomorrow that I'm going for is an executive assistant position. It's combo, I would say, so private and personal. I would say maybe 60% work company and then 40% personal assistant work. In terms of roles that I'm applying for in general, I would say
just a bit more of the position you're applying. So what company is it?
It's a hotelier. So it's working for a group of family-owned hotels in and around London, and there's a few branches over in Spain also. Okay. So yeah, but the majority of my roles that I'm applying for, and I say this to all of the interviews that I'm on also, they have an element of what I am great at and what my career has been built on, EA support roles, but with an element of interest and variety. So I had an interview today for a marketing coordinator and EA role, one on Tuesday for a PR assistant coordination kind of role. So very much the communications, I don't know, avenue, I would say, is where I fall in. That's where I want my career to go next and where I kind of want to hone it in, but with the foundations of where I've built my job history.
I see. Just to say, because I think in the question about tell me about yourself, I think you answered really well, because it's really not about giving the interviewer your life history.
Yeah.
But really saying what you're doing at the moment and what your last job was, so exactly what you did and what your main skills are. So really you kind of went through all of that in a very, you know, I think very, very well done way. So
thanks. Thanks. I may have said that a few hundred times over the last year. I may have said something along those lines. It's good that I got that question right. And also as well, it's my career, it's what I've done. I'm very proud of my career as a sports staff. I'm very proud of my career as EA, and that's why I can speak, I think, so confident only. Like part of what your presentation was about, the research in yourself and your roles before I go into an interview. So right in front of me, I've got my own notes that I make about my own job history, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So instead of, because obviously even if we're over in the video, I don't want to be looking down or reading or anything. So it's just a nice quick glance, flick through, so it kind of reminds me and jogs my memory.
I mean, the main thing is actually that, you know, you touch points that actually are common.
Relevant, yeah.
Relevant to the position that you're applying to. My only thing is that you actually list and that's something that I also do. You actually list some of your duties and some of the things that, and sometimes, or some career strategies say that it's good to actually focus on accomplishments. So the difference is that you actually provide figures like
I see.
I got, by controlling the finances, I got, an increase in this or
Okay.
10%.
So for this example, I would say instead of just listing what I did, so I would say I streamlined the capital expenditure process by organizing like the meetings and blah blah blah. So things like that.
Yes. So really focus on the accomplishment and not too much on just the description of the activity. And
Got
that's
you.
something that that most career strategists that I've been watching recommend. I do recommend Linda Rainier. She's Canadian, I'm not sure, but you can search for her on YouTube. She really has videos about pretty much anything related to career services. So and that was something that I actually learned from her, especially in terms of my CV. But also on a job interview is really good, because then it's really the show and tell, Okay, and then if I asked you another question, so how would you describe your personality?
I would describe my personality as someone who is tenacious, a go-getter. I don't stop. Using your example, I would say, or your tips, I ensure that from end to end process are completed, regardless of obstacles that are in the way. I will reach out to every assistant in the building if I can't find one, for example. So I would say I'm tenacious, enthusiastic, and personable. I know people and I can read people very well. That's how I get the majority of my stuff done. It's about understanding the nuances, the details about what makes people tick, and therefore how to get the best out of them or ultimately get the job done.
Okay, can you think of a situation that illustrates that?
Situation that illustrates my tenacious nature.
Yes.
An example of my tenacious nature, I would say maybe just even in my job application and my job searching, I will see a job on LinkedIn, and very rarely would I apply directly on LinkedIn or on the apply here button. I always would either go to their website on their careers page, find either the careers email address or the necessary person within HR, if it hasn't already been listed on the LinkedIn profile, because at the bottom sometimes it says who's posted it. One of my favorite websites, a little bit cheeky, is called Rocket Research or Rocket Search. It's a really great way. So if you type in their name and email address, name and company, you can find out either their full email address or even the format of the company's email domain. So sometimes it's first name dot surname, or initial and last name at whatever company it is. That's how I send all of my applications. Never just apply on LinkedIn, because there's 600 easy applicants for every single job. I'm not trying to be one of 600. I already am one of 600. I need to do something that's going to get me ahead of the crowd, get me noticed, and get me seen.
Yes, and I also, just to give a bit of information, also I use hunter.io.
Hunter.io.
So if you type the company's web address, you get the email format for that particular company.
See, it's and honestly, it's been an absolute lifesaver. I would say if I apply for 10 jobs with this process, I would say easily 8 of them come back to me. Yeah. without a shadow of a doubt, because again, I have been on both ends of the employment kind of war. I've been the employee and the interviewer, as well as the interviewee. I know after the first 50 CVs lands on my desk, we're closing the application down, we're getting rid of that email address, because no one's going to sit through 150 CVs. No one is.
No.
I mean, especially... Sorry, go ahead.
I tend to do both. I apply on LinkedIn and then I do as well.
Yeah, I will generally do both, but I find once I've gone and sent the email, and also I find I'll see if actually after this call, I'm going to send you my cover letter, because I've taken a lot of time with my cover letter as well. It's another way and another layer to show my personality, to get me seen, to get me at the top of the list. And also another way to show tenacious is I send at least 5 emails. You're going to see me today, tomorrow, and the day after in your inbox. They might be annoyed, but at least they're going to remember Charlene Lopes. So bad now I say it out loud.
No, I mean, just about the cover letter, yes, I'm happy to take a look at it, but do bear in mind that you need to change it each time.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I know that. Yeah, it's not going to be like a
keywords
one-stop shop.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. So I make sure that there are, I don't know, keywords in there, that it's hit what they're after, or any like, yeah, I make sure that I mend it. So I would say, yes, that's an example of my tenacious nature. Okay. I go above and beyond and apply myself. When I want something done and when something needs to be done, I do it. I've got no fear of rolling my sleeves up and getting something done.
Perfect. I think that was very good. I think it just makes it a bit more, evident.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Tell a story instead of saying. Then
I'm today. Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Prove it. You kind of prove it. So it's based on facts
rather than
So if we move on to another question.
Oh God.
Even though I feel that I'm, you're probably more prepared than me, but anyway, we'll continue.
No, honestly. Listen, I'm told you, even though I have been interviewing and I've been doing this for a long time, you can never stop learning. No, there's never a time to stop learning. And even when there's things, so what you say about using your case studies and using an example, I know that logic in my brain tells me that, but sometimes it just takes someone else to kind of remind you, and someone independent and impartial like yourself, to just say, do you know what, Charlene, don't forget. Remember we just spoke about that? Don't forget. Remember what you did. So yeah, it's really good.
Some advice that I've received is actually to going through the job position and really identify like the 3 main skills that you need for that position, and then for each of those skills find a story from your own career experience to illustrate that skill.
Okay, that's a good one.
And then of course, if you're applying for a job where you might lack something like I don't know, you might need some training on a particular software or something like, I don't know, then you can always say, oh, I would love to do some training on digital data, or whatever is relevant to the position that you don't have the experience yet, so that they see your willingness to learn, because that is something that it's always good to have when you're hiring someone. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Why do you want this job?
Why do I want the job? I want the job because I feel I will be the best candidate for the job. Based on my experience as an EA, I have worked for some of the biggest companies. I've worked for Goldman Sachs, that is very stringent, by the book, and because of that, it's allowed me to have a great attention to detail, which is something that I can bring. I love the ethos and the brand that the company offers. I want to make my home at a company like yours, where I can be proud to say that I work for you. Sorry, I fumbled there a bit. Now I'm getting in my head. I'm getting in my head now.
I mean, in a way, you need to, again, go back to your skills and how they match the job. But I think here is in this kind of question, is good to really go for the company and why the company is so great and why you want so much to be there, So maybe here is a good moment to showcase some of the research you've done about the company itself. So in this case, if it's a family business, say that you really admire family businesses and the different way they're run, and I don't know, I mean, here you have to do a bit of research on hoteliers and their competitors, and what makes them, what's their unique selling point. I mean, what makes them special, and to really do your homework, and really do a lot of research about the company, so that you really know the company inside out. Maybe know about a bit of the company's history, the founders, how it all started. And I think this is a good question to really showcase that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, that's good.
What would you say is your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement, I would say, is the implementation of the small AFE process at Selfridges. When I arrived, there was nothing there effectively. It was people passing one piece of paper from one person to the other. There was no real processes in place, no real even naming conventions for when the documents were uploaded in the system. So if someone wanted to go look for something, there's 15 different variations of the same document saved in. So I came in, started from absolute scratch, or pretty much started from scratch, and said, okay, we need to get a whole new name convention. Everything needs to be concise and on the same page, all saved in the same place, and then set up an entire process, so a working process. And it took about 6 or 7 months, meeting with various people from the different organizations, so different departments in the company, to see what works for them. So for example, someone in the photo studio, they couldn't save down their particular documents in this file because of the nature of their work. So it came through a much larger file. So it was speaking to then IT, compressing those files down, saving it into the correct format, so that once it is uploaded into the system, anyone from finance, IT, the janitor can have access to it if needed. So I would say that by the time I had left, it took what would have taken a 4-day job before, takes less than 3 hours from end to end.
That is amazing. And here I really have nothing to say. I think that was a hell of an answer. Where you really, I mean, I was just about to say, you need to find a problem and how you found the solution, and your answer was so spot on. I have nothing to add.
Nailed it. I'm back out of my head now. Okay. Let me not get too excited before I mess up the next question.
Okay, tell me about a time when you helped resolve a dispute between others, or there was conflict in your team.
Conflict in the team or dispute with others. When working with some assistants over the years, the higher up their boss or the MD or the CEO is, or whoever they look after, it tends to come with some egos, unfortunately. And it's, again, finding the way that to get people together without making it almost cheesy and sitting around the table, because at the end of the day, we're not in high school. That's not how it works. So what I did, so myself and another colleague of mine in the EA pool, we set up a once monthly kind of knowledge share, because it feeds egos, because everyone else gets to tell and show off what they like, but also it gets everybody in a room. No one's just sitting down talking about the work for an entire hour. You have conversations, you break down those barriers, and then you see that people just really are just humans. Everyone's the same. We all want the same thing out of it. That led on to us doing the catch up in a pub instead of, and friendships are now born out of it.
That's wonderful. I think that is, again, sorry, here, it is a tricky question, and I think you came out of it really well. That is a very good answer.
Yeah, to be honest, even just thinking about it now, it was it's kind of a tough time, because especially the nature of my role, I had to speak to just about everybody. And some people be like, oh my God, Charl, you're brown nosing, you're doing this, you're doing that. But I know what I'm doing, I know the layers to it. For example, I would go, oh, I would need something to be signed or time. So I would need something to be signed. So instead of just going over, I would go over with chocolate. I know they don't eat chocolate or they don't want the chocolate or care for it, but it's that small little gesture. If a meeting's being cancelled, let's say it's a 3-hour meeting being cancelled, a town hall that's been in the diary for ages, I would know it's being cancelled, but I'll give them a call or send them an email and say, hey, Jane, just so you know, that meeting's being cancelled before I remove it from the diary. Because some people, when they look on Outlook scheduler, they will see a slot and just slide and throw meetings in. Really annoying. Hate when people do that. But then they can manage their time or completely block it out. And it's that care, or even they feel maybe a little bit special that you've come and told them first before it's come out the diary. Or you've given them some background on why it's come out the diary, because their MD is going to ask, oh, wait, wasn't there a town hall tomorrow or the day after or the day after that? And then they don't look silly standing there. They've got an answer for then their direct, that kind of mutual respect. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. I like people. People are my jam.
That's wonderful. Anyway, now we're coming to an end.
Okay. I don't feel so stressed anymore. I wonder why.
So honestly, I think I mean, I would hire you.
Yes. That's a great thing to hear, because also as well, with the current climate and all the interviews, even if again, this might have been the outcome, it's still nice to hear from someone that's impartial and someone that doesn't know me, that I'm almost selling myself to in a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
And it does kind of give me a little bit of confidence that I do have the ability, maybe just some fine tuning, some tweaking here and there. Like, I really appreciate the notes you gave me about, again, making sure that you tell a story with everything, not just given a black and white kind of answer. I really like that. And yeah, like I said, tomorrow's another interview. I had one today, which is why I've still got a full face of makeup on, because I had a third interview today. I've got another one next week, Wednesday now. So I can definitely tell that the change in tide in the job market. There's a lot more influx of jobs. Yes, I've been seeing.
Yes, no, I'm very happy to help. And this was actually done due to the initiative of the Duchess of Sussex, because on her 40th birthday, she encouraged everyone to give 40 minutes of their time. And I browsed through the suggestions on their website, Archwell, and one of them was to help someone, a UK-based woman who is looking for work due to the pandemic. So thank you so much for accepting my request.
Thank you so much for your time, and your tips and skills, and also being so lovely and smiley and present.
Thank you.
It's a nice way to end my evening.
That's sweet. Thank you. I mean, the only thing is, and again, based on personal errors,
yeah.
When you're in the interview, don't be too, sometimes when you prepare a lot, you have so much in your head, that, you forget to be present. So
yeah,
it's really important to be focused on the interviewer and listen to them. I know some people are a bit poker face and they have that reputation, but you do need to kind of see the nuances in their behavior and really see, be there, be very present with their questions, with their reactions, and really try to remember that the interview is really not about you, it's about them, how you can be a benefit to them. And if you prove that you're a good fit, then you can secure a job offer. So that's
fabulous.
Advice.
Thank you. Honestly, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much, and good luck with everything.
I'll keep you posted.
Please do. I hope you find something very, very soon.
So do I. I've got very expensive taste, and currently the budget does not support my very expensive taste.
I totally know what you mean.
All right then, my
Thank
lovely.
you so much. Have a lovely evening and a nice.
Same to you.
We're nearly there anyway.
Yes, nearly there. Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.